It's actually really bright today, as you can see behind me, but I'm sitting like underneath my window, so that's why I'm so dark. So sorry for that if that bothers you. Yes, so today I am going to talk about bad habits that I have, bad habits I have, otherwise it could be a really long video. Let's just get started then. I don't know. I've got a cool mug. Wait, can you read it? It says, to tea or not to tea? That is the question. The answer to that question today is not to tea. I'm drinking Dr. Pepper. Cheers. Bad habits. I have to say the first one for me would be, I bite my nails. You probably can't see in the camera, but trust me, I do. It's quite bad actually. I don't particularly like biting my nails. It's not like a hobby of mine. It is a bad habit. I think I've always bit my nails and I hate it. And I've tried to stop so many times, and my mum's tried to get me to stop so many times because she thinks it's horrible, which it is. But yeah, it is really difficult to stop, and I have stopped so many times and tried to stop. I hate it. But that is one thing. There's actually, that's quite a common one as far as I can tell. I think a lot of people do struggle with biting their nails, so that's not a really like odd one. Something else that I realised recently that I do is whenever I'm on a plane, or not so much a train, I don't go on a lot of trains, but whenever I'm on a plane I always have to sit beside the window, so I always have to take the window seat, which, you know, that sounds fine, you know, it's just a preference, but I'm also the person that needs to go to the toilet all the time. I don't know why, but especially when I know that I'm not going to be able to go to the toilet, so like, you know, at the cinema or a show or something, when you don't particularly want to get up and leave, that then makes me think, oh my god, I'm going to, like, oh my god, I need the toilet, and it gets worse and worse, and I kind of build it up in my head. I don't really need it, and I'm the same on planes, but I always have to sit beside the window. So I only realised that recently. Someone was talking about it, I think it was in a YouTube video actually. I was watching it and they were like, oh, I hate when people do that, and I realised that I do that. And I know it really annoys my dad because he always has to sit in the aisle seat, so I'm always having to like climb past him, and he always gets annoyed at it. And I understand why, it's an annoying thing to do. It's annoying that I do it. Another bad habit I have, which is not so much, this one is kind of a bad habit, but it's, at the same time, I don't know if it's the worst thing. Like, it only really annoys me. The other things that I've mentioned kind of affect other people and can annoy other people as well, but this thing just kind of annoys me. I buy quite a lot of magazines. I try not to buy the kind of trashy ones, you know, that everyone says, oh, they just rot your brain. But I struggle to not buy Teen Vogue. I started buying it a couple of years ago. I was going on holiday and it was the only thing that I seen in the shop, and I was like, oh, I'll just get that, and then since then I've got it every month. I'm actually, I have a little list on my phone of like videos that I want to make, and one of them is about hoarding and collecting, and that is going to be on, like, I'll probably talk about it more then. But I have a really bad habit of not reading them. And it's not even like, you know, it's someone that I don't want, like, that I don't like on the cover and I won't read their interview. Because I will read it, eventually. I'll end up having a few sitting on my shelf that I haven't read, and I've just been collecting them, and then over a weekend I'll read them all. So, like I said, this doesn't really affect other people, but it annoys me because I have all these magazines waiting, and I'm really excited to get it. I'm like, I go out specifically to get the magazine, and I'm really excited. I'm like, yes, I've got my magazine, and I put it on my shelf, and 3 weeks later I've still not read it, and the new one comes out and I'll go out and I'll buy that, and that'll just get added onto the pile until I've got 3 or 4 that I still have to read through. Another bad habit, and this is more just annoys me. If I'm reading a book, I'll always try and do the ending. Recently, a lot of the books I have read have been recommended to me by a friend who has previously read them. So then if something's kind of, you know, there's a turning point and I'm like supposed to be thinking, oh, what's going to happen at the end, I will ask my friend and I will beg her to tell me until she does. I end up ruining the end of the book for myself. I don't get any of the suspense, and just punch my CD player. So I just end up ruining everything for myself. Although I am currently about 3/4 of the way through Allegiant, which is the third book in the Divergent series, and I still haven't found out what happens at the end. And I have a very strict rule for myself that throughout the whole series I have not been allowed to ask anyone about what happens. I did ask one question about the end of Allegiant, and that was just to make sure that one person that I liked didn't die. And that wasn't the big... Well, I asked just to make sure that the big thing at the end wasn't that it was one of my favourite characters died, and it wasn't that, so like that's the only thing I've asked. But it's been a very strict rule for me that I cannot find out what happens at the end of the book because I always ruin things for myself and it's so annoying. So yeah, but after that I'm going to finish a series that I started that my friend hasn't read, so I can't find out the... Yes, so these are some of my bad habits. I do have more that I either couldn't think of. I should have made a list. I should have made a list. The only thing I had in my head were my nails. Thank you for watching if you watched it. I hope this was interesting, and if you have any bad habits or the same bad habits as I do, please let me know in the comments so I know it's not just me. Especially the magazine one. I think that's weird. Like, I don't know anyone else that does that. So yes, please let me know in the comments if you like this or if you have bad habits yourself. And yes, I hope you have a nice day. Yay! I actually had a music exam this morning and an English exam the other day and a modern studies exam the other day. 3 down, 5 to go. I mean, that's all I'm saying. Study leave. It's a bitch. Did someone just come in the house? Oh. Okay. I thought someone just broke into my house too. That would have been... No, that wouldn't have been fun at all. But... Whoosh.